What's up, my dudes? So I wanted to go in here and do a bit of a graphical test for MX Simulator, specifically like how it actually turns out on YouTube after I upload it, because there's something really bizarre about MX Simulator where it's almost like the higher you put the graphics, the worse it looks on YouTube. It's really weird. It's totally backwards from what you would think it would be. And what I'm talking about is that thing where when you upload something on YouTube and it almost like, it's like I don't think it's called like decoding, but it like scrunches the video down, right? Or there's a specific word for it. Whatever it is, it basically like makes your video small enough to be able to put up on the server or whatever. So what that does is like any sort of like snow falling in the video or a lot of craziness, like little particle effects on a video, it'll cause a video to sort of have like a grainy look to it on YouTube that you didn't have there like on the MP4 version of it before you uploaded it to YouTube. It wasn't there at all, and then after you upload it, it's just there. It's got that kind of grainy effect. You guys are probably seeing it right now as I'm riding on this track. I noticed it specifically on this track quite a bit more than I did on some of the other ones. It's kind of track specific because some of them have more of a grainy dirt decal to them. I think that's really where it comes from more than anything, is the dirt decal. It causes that grainy effect on YouTube where it's like gets that real splotchy, like it's not really loading the video in clean, even though see, that's what makes it so tricky for me, is I go in there and regardless of how I have the graphics on MX Simulator, I could have them maxed out, have them even maxed out more in my NVIDIA settings and all that. I could have them to the absolute maximum, record it, and it'll look just fine as far as the actual video itself. Like before I upload it to YouTube, it'll look great. It'll look crystal clear, sharp, everything will look good. But then I'll upload it to YouTube and it'll be like so grainy that you can't even hardly see what I'm riding on. Like, it's insane. So I'm wanting to go in here and test this out because I know that before I got my new PC and really started going in here and being able to see, that's what it was like whenever I was playing MX Simulator for like 1 or 2 years there at the beginning, and I was uploading videos. I had that on like your mom's computer where it didn't have a lot of horsepower on it, so I wasn't able to run MX Simulator at super high graphics, so it just turned out to look really good on YouTube. Did not have that grainy effect at all. But now that I got this new PC, which is so stupid, pay all that money for a new PC to get good graphics on MX Simulator, and not only that, but other games and higher frame rates and stuff, and then go in there and upload it to YouTube, and it actually looks worse than what I had beforehand because of the, it's like the graphical look of the dirt gets so detailed and so high resolution that it becomes so grainy that YouTube can't even really pick it up properly. So that's what I want to go in here and test. And it's not that big of a deal for MX Simulator because a lot of the content I do in this game is like I go in there and pre-ride on a track before I actually make a video on it, so I could go in there and ride on the high graphic settings and race on the high graphic settings and then just go record in a lower graphical setting so it looks better on YouTube. And then I could just change it to the lower graphical settings anytime I'm doing a live video on MX Simulator. It wouldn't be that big of a deal. So I wanted to go in here and test this. So this right here is basically the high detail setting in MX Simulator, where it's got it's a preset setting in there where it's high detail. It's just that simple. It's the, you got one that's like a high FPS, and you got like a normal one, then you got a high detail, which is more on the graphical side, obviously, and it'll still do that grainy effect even running just the simple high detail setting in the game. So wanted to go in here and just kind of show you guys what this looked like, and then I'll be right back, and I'm going to go in there and change my okay, here we go. So I turned the ground texture levels from 10 to 7. That's the only setting that I changed. The other setting, the other ground texture setting in there, that's just like the load in, like how far away from you can actually see it and how quickly it's loading in. That's not really going to change the grainy effect of it. The only thing that's going to change that grainy effect is the actual texture quality level and the the little thing that's like 256 by 256, whatever the hell. I haven't changed that at all yet either, but I just want to show you like what this will look like. I have no idea how much different it's actually going to look on YouTube. That's why I'm making this video. I want to go in there and test it out myself and kind of see which level I need to have that on to make this look right. But yeah, we'll see. You should be able to see a difference from what I was just on, those couple apps I ran there before to this. It shouldn't have anywhere near the grainy effect that it had before, but I'll go in there and try to see. So I had this on 7, and we'll go from 7 to 5 here in a second, and you should really be able to tell a difference. It shouldn't have hardly any of that grainy effect if you go all the way down to 5, but the kind of catch to it is like you can't really ride with it on 5 or everything's going to look like damn Play-Doh ground. So yeah, and that's weird because this is the only game that I've really noticed that with. Like I can run any other game out there with full graphical everything and it won't really have that like super grainy look to it. It's weird. It's like with MX Simulator, it being in first person and how fast you're moving and the way that some of the custom dirt textures that people put in there, that really high detailed shit, it just makes it to where YouTube takes it more as like that snow falling effect more than it does like a smooth texture, and it doesn't show up very good on YouTube. So, and it's not that big of a deal. It's not like, oh my gosh, you can't make videos like that. I'm just going in here and trying to get it as good as I possibly can, as good of a level as I can, because that's just, I'm trying to make the quality as good as I can on YouTube, which is stupid because I'm actually lowering the quality to make it higher. It's so retarded, but it's like, I got to do what I got to do here, man, because I'm not trying to have that go like that anymore. But yeah, it's crazy, man. Back in the day when I was uploading all those videos, that shitty computer, it actually looked better on YouTube than it does now with a beast computer, because of the actual textures on the ground just weren't as high detailed, so it didn't show up like that snow effect on YouTube. But I've seen a lot of other people's videos that have that same snow effect a little bit to them. So, you know, it's not like a super kill your video kind of thing. It's just a little bit of an annoyance, and I'm trying to get the maximum quality out of it. Like, even when I go back and watch a lot of my videos that do have that grainy effect to them, like, your eyes just kind of naturally get used to it. It ain't that big of a deal. And on most tracks, it's not even really that noticeable anyways. But on certain ones where they got a really high kind of grainy, detailed look to the dirt, you will notice it. Like, it will become a bit of a thing there. So either way, I'm going to go and put this from 7 to 5. Alrighty then, so now I'm seeing a massive difference as far as what I'm seeing in-game here. It basically eliminates all that, you know, that little small dirt look to everything, especially going from 7 to 5, but I mean going from all the way to 10 ground texture detail all the way down to 5, it's half the amount of detail, but I can just see it right here. Like, it's totally eliminated the grain look to the dirt. You know what I'm saying? It's like totally smoothed that out right there. So yeah, this is just one little thing that I'm testing here, but I'm thinking just simply doing this will totally eliminate that kind of look. Maybe 6 or 7, I'll just have to go in there and kind of play around with it, because you don't want to get it so low that it looks like, it just looks like crap on YouTube. Looks like there's no detail to the dirt at all, right? You want some detail, but you don't want so much detail that it gets that grain effect. So it's one of those things. I'm going to have to find a balance. I'm going to have to fine tune and get it right where it needs to be, because it's not something I can just go in there and put max graphics on it and just record it and be like, oh, hell yeah, that's going to work. Like, it's not like that. I've got to find a nice little balance area to it. But now you guys should not be seeing any, I mean, literally, you shouldn't be seeing any of that grain effect on there at all. So, and this is how I used to just play MX Simulator, like straight up. I used to have my ground texture levels pretty low like that, like in the 5, 6, 7 range. I never ever had them on 10 back in the day, and never had that YouTube grain problem with the videos that I was uploading. So, either way, this is just Spencer Turley out here, Mr. Perfectionism, trying to get my quality to max level that I can. If you go back and look at some of my earliest videos, like, you'll notice, like, the amount of quality change, it just, like, goes up and up and up and up and up. Whether it be audio quality, visual quality, gameplay visual quality, whatever it is, frame rate, all that stuff, man. It's just slowly but surely, like, improved. It's like I never stopped trying to improve my quality of my videos on YouTube, man, because there really is no limit to it. Like, you can go in there and fine tune, and then you wake up one day and they've got, you know, they've got 120 frames on YouTube or some shit like that, and then it's like, then you got higher resolutions, and then that's a bitch to try to record, and then it just goes on from there. You know, if it was still just like 720 and 30 FPS on YouTube, it'd be a whole different realm, right? But just since I've been on YouTube, they've went to everybody's basically doing 60 FPS now, unless it's like a more of a vlog style video or something. But all the gaming videos are 60 FPS, 1080, and you can even have, you know, 2K, 4K on YouTube now, which I haven't really started doing any of that. I don't think that's like a full-blown standard at this point. I do play on 2K, so that's what's crazy. I play on 2K, but record in 1080. So I do that just for simplistic purposes of not having crazy big files and taking 5 times as long to upload and all that kind of bull crap. I just try to make it simple, but when everyone goes to doing 2K videos, and eventually everyone's going to be going to doing 4K, all the TVs are going to be 4K, all the PCs are going to be 4K, everything's going to be 4K eventually. You know, resolution-wise, and so eventually all the YouTube videos are going to be 4K. So eventually I'm going to have to get all my shit to the point where I can do all 4K on everything. That's just the natural progression of fidelity and quality and stuff like that. So it's just a never-ending, never-changing. You can never settle with your quality of whatever it is that you're doing. You can never just be like, okay, this is perfect audio, this is perfect visual, graphical quality. You got to always be on the edge, man. You got to always be trying to make it as best you possibly can, trying to fix it, trying to improve it. And that's the way you got to be on YouTube if you want to have really good visual quality here. So I'm going to go in there and try something a little bit different just to see what the hell it looks like. Okay, so I put the texture levels back to 10. You guys know we just had them on 5 right there, but I put them back to 10, maxed out, and I actually went in there and changed the texture resolution. So like I said, the default texture resolution, ground texture resolution is, I think it's like 256 by 256. Well, I took it down one notch and put it on, I think it's like 128 by 128 or something like that. So we'll see what this looks like. So there's kind of 2 different ways to like lower your graphical ground fidelity, make it to where it's not quite as grainy. You can either change the actual texture detail itself, or you can change the texture resolution. So the resolution could definitely be more of the issue. Hell, I don't even know. So we'll just this video is more just for me to go back and look at it, look at what's the best setting that how it actually looks on YouTube, you know, because like I said, the video that I see before I upload it, it's all been fine and dandy. I've never noticed any problems. But it's the after I upload it to YouTube's where you notice that grainy effect from the encoding or whatever the hell you call it. So that's really where all the issues come from. That's why I've had such trouble with this, because I don't really know what it's doing. Like I understand the premise of it, but it's a stupid. It shouldn't be doing that. Like YouTube should have a system to where you can upload anything of any quality and it shows up like that. It shouldn't, I don't know. And I think one day they'll get it to that point. They'll get YouTube to that point where it's, you know, it doesn't have that super, like, really like rendering down your video, really scrunching down the quality of your video and stuff like that. I think one day it'll get to the level where it's just however it looks, MP4 is how it looks on YouTube, right? Or it won't even be MP4 and MP69 or whatever the fuck, however that video looks before you upload it is how it looks after you upload it. It's eventually going to get to that point, but it's not like that right now, basically, is what I'm saying. So you got to be real careful. But like I said, MX Simulator is the only game I've really noticed that with, and I think it's just simply the way the dirt is in this game. Holy God. Just simply the way the dirt is. So I'll just have to go back and look at which setting in particular has, had the lowest amount of that grainy effect to it. So this is what I was trying to do right here, is knock the texture levels all the way back up to the top and then lower just the resolution so we can see exactly what that's doing in itself. So it's like either I can lower the texture resolution, may have to lower it one more notch, or I can just lower the texture quality, or what I could do is like barely lower the texture quality and barely lower the texture resolution, and it would be a nice little balance right there. So it's kind of like either or. I'm going to go try something else real quick. Okay, so here we go. I've got the texture resolution down even one more notch, but I still have the texture quality up to maximum, up to 10. But now I've got the resolution down to 64 by 64. So what it's creating now is this kind of bizarre looking, like it's got a bit of a pop-in effect to it, and it's almost like you laid a sheet of plastic wrap over the track. That's the only way to explain it. It looks really goofy, really bizarre, a lot of pop-in. So I really don't think this is going to work right here. I don't think changing the resolution, putting it down that low is really going to be worth it, because I would never really be able to accurately play with it like this. It probably looks stupid on YouTube like this. So, yeah, let me go back in there and do that kind of half and half like I was telling you. Lower both of them just a little bit, but not crazy, and then I'll come back. But yeah, it's one of those bizarre, like I've caught it at a weird time. I've almost caught like a weird graphical advancement in the timeline of video games here, where it's like, and YouTube and video qualities and stuff and encoding capabilities and stuff like that, where it's like where the higher the quality, the lower the quality on YouTube it actually ends up being, because it creates too much of a grainy effect. So it's interesting, it's bizarre. Never would have expected I would have this problem in a million years. You would just think in your head like, well, shit, the higher the quality I have it able to record it at, the better it's going to look on YouTube. But not necessarily, not always, man. It just doesn't work like that at this current point. Like I said, I think eventually it will. YouTube will eventually get their video, you know, little, what the hell's the word I'm looking for, where like you're scrunching the video down, you're not rendering it, but you're compressing it. That's the fucking word, Doug. Compressing it, okay? That's really what YouTube's doing. It's kind of compressing your video down, but for whatever reason, it creates a dumb effect where it like makes everything grainy. Like if you go in there and make a, like where you got confetti blowing in the wind, or you got snow falling in a real live video or whatever, you will notice that grain effect. It's like when you upload something, it can't pick up everything around it because there's too much distraction with all the little details. That's what gets you on a YouTube video quality, is the little details, where it's like you'll have like little particle effects, little grain effects, little high detail dirt effects. That's the kind of shit that really jacks up a YouTube video. So either way, that's the whole point of this video, me just going in there, testing this out, seeing what the hell I can do, trying to improve quality. So yeah, man, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know any good setting, YouTube recording settings, stuff like that. And it's bizarre because it's not like I'm asking like what's a good setting as far as like high detail setting. I'm basically asking you what's a good low setting for it, which is weird, but it's like I don't want to go too low to where it looks like it doesn't even look good on YouTube at all. Like maybe it doesn't have the grain effect, but everything looks like Play-Doh. You know, I don't want to go that far with it, so we'll just have to see. Maybe I'll just do the only lowering the detail quality to 7. Maybe that'll be the way to go. Hell, I don't know. But I'll just go back and look at it. We'll see. So, yeah, man, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.